What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for yet another Tottenham update. And this time we are starting off with Harry Kane, as there has been some news that has come to light. First of all, we'll start with Gary Jacob, who says that Harry Kane won't sign a new Tottenham deal and is keen on the Bayern Munich move. Harry will not push to leave Tottenham this summer after his failed attempt to leave for Man City in 2021. But he has no intention of extending his stay at the club. While Ali Gold says that Harry Kane will not sign a new contract with Tottenham this summer, but extending his deal is still an option. He is open if he remains it. He is open to remain at N17, and the club is making progress under Ange Postecoglou. So, I mean, not really too much change in that one.
So much progress we've made. We've already lost a friendly. What progress we've made. Incredible. Inroads Ange has made.
The gas levels, that's what the progress has been made.
Not to belittle, what I saw on in the friendly against West Ham, which was definitely positive, but I think it's so early to say we're making so much progress. It's like we've played one game, and yes, we look good, but I don't think based on that Kane's going to be like, this is it.
I mean, how many full stalls have we had in pre-seasons before?
We've had a lot. So you can't. I don't think you can take anything. I remember under one day Ramos, we were winning every friendly 5-6-0, and then
Darren Bent scored 30 goals in that pre-season.
Then we started with 2 points from 8 games, so you can never read too much into pre-season. But in terms of the actual news, what Gary Jacob was saying, I mean, it's nothing new. He's basically wrapping up the news that Kane isn't signing a contract this summer into a new bow, essentially, when we all know he's not going to sign a contract this summer. There's no reason for him to sign a contract this summer. It's not in his interest to sign a contract this summer, so it's not going to happen. The only way he stays is if either in January or something, he's when the options are actually open to him to sign a new deal with other foreign clubs. If at that point we're making serious, maybe we're in a title challenge or we're making serious progress under Postecoglou, then maybe there's a conversation to be had, or at the end of the season, depending on how we've done, and if Kane really sees a direction with the club and he thinks he's better off staying than going to a different club, then there's a conversation to be had. But those far down the line, it ain't going to happen this summer. So obviously, I think from Kane's point of view, it makes sense that buying it in for him, if they're willing to stump up the money, then he probably is interested in making that move. But I don't see him being so focused on it that he's going to kick up a fuss, as that article was suggested. And I think it's very much up in the air right now whether Bayern are even going to meet the demands that Tottenham are demanding. So I think it's as you were.
Yeah, I think, exactly. I don't think anything changes with what's come out today, but it is frustrating just to have this hanging over us for so long now. I mean, it's not just like every summer we hear about these Kane rumours, but now it's coming to crunch time where he's literally going into the last year of his contract. And I've said it before, the prospect of losing him for free to a Premier League rival is just something that I don't want to go anywhere near. And if it comes to a point where Harry Kane or the Bayern Munich do stump up the money, then I think he goes, as much as how frustrating it will be to lose Harry Kane and you're losing a club legend, top record goal scorer in the club's history, however painful it is to see him go, I think it might be the right time if they do stump up the money. So I think that it's going to be a very tough time coming in and seeing this news come out. But I think at this moment in time, with the new era coming with Ange Postecoglou, with the way we're playing our football, I think that it would have hurt us a lot more losing him under an Antonio Conte or under a Jose Mourinho than maybe it does now.
100%. I think we know that the way Ange wants to play, it's more about the team and how the team is set up rather than individual quality. But obviously individual quality enhances how well that structure is going to play. But for sure, having Ange at the helm and the way he's going to play definitely leads to different structural potential rather than having a Kane where we clearly relied on his individual quality under those two previous managers, especially in the counter-attacking phases. So that completely makes sense. But in terms of Kane himself, at least I was reading an article about Bale when he moved to Madrid, and apparently when Spurs went on the pre-season tour, his attitude was very much I'm going to leave, and he didn't have a very good attitude going into that tour, and it was very clear to everyone that he wanted out. And it doesn't seem that way when I look at Harry Kane, his body language and how he is in training, and he seems to be definitely on board with Ange and very much focused. So I guess he has that going for him. Yeah,
look, I think when you're comparing Harry Kane to Gareth Bale, Gareth Bale was a legend at this club in his own right, but I think it was a bit different where you're looking at Harry Kane, who's born and bred at this football club, a record goal scorer, captain pretty much at the moment. So, I mean, there's a bit of a different stature at the club for Harry Kane at the moment than there was for maybe a Gareth Bale then as well. So I think you've got to take that into account. But anyway, let's move on. And we've got some more news that's not really news because we brought it to you earlier on today. But Matti Moretto is from a different source this time, so I thought we'll just bring it to you anyway. Matti Moretto says that Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg is the chosen player for Atletico Madrid's midfield, and Tottenham and Atleti are already in talks. I mean, I was reading a thread that Paul O'Keefe was having a conversation on Twitter today, and he thinks it's very much likely that Hojbjerg is going to be moved on this summer, and he wants to move as well. So it looks as though all the parties do want this to happen now.
Yeah, and I think it's best for everyone. I think it's a really good move for Hojbjerg, going back in the Champions League for a good team like Atletico. I think really suits the way he wants to play, and I think Atletico have got a good player, in my opinion, underrated player, and I think it's a perfect marriage. I think you imagine when Atletico put in those performances, like I remember when they played like Man City in the Champions League a couple of years ago, and they're just like really trying to bully them and trying to have that shithousery effect, and Hojbjerg would be perfect for that with that mentality. I'm sure he would buy into Simeone as well. I think he'd be the perfect manager for him, and I think from Spurs' point of view, I think we can move on to a player who's maybe a better fit for how Ange wants to play, and a better fit for those roles as well. As much as I do think Hojbjerg would be okay, I don't think he would be terrible for Ange. I think he's actually probably a good player, but I don't think he'd be the perfect player, and we can move on to someone who'd just be a real perfect fit rather than Hojbjerg, where it's like a good fit but it's not perfect.
All right, and let's move on to the last story of the update today, and it's a brand new name for you guys. And Nathan Gissing, who is part of the Damasio team, is reporting that Udinese striker Beto has interest from several clubs, including Tottenham Hotspur, as well as Fulham, and I think there was another foreign club in there as well. Beto is expected to leave the club this summer. There it is. Napoli have already made 2 offers to date. However, Udinese are demanding a minimum fee of 35 million euros. For those who don't know him, he's played at Udinese for the last 2 seasons. Last season getting 10 goals in 33 games. The season before getting 11 goals in 28 games. He's a 25-year-old Portuguese striker, very tall with big aerial ability, and obviously he knows where the net is as well, and he's someone that Destiny Udogie would have linked up very well with as well the last couple of seasons. Yeah,
true. He doesn't seem to be a striker who's got like an incredible goal scoring record, but he's got a decent one, like very similar to like Richarlison's goal scoring record when he was at Everton. From what I gather, he's like a big physical striker, but like he doesn't have a fantastic technical ability. From a few clips I've seen, it does kind of remind me a bit of like Carlos Vinicius, like the way he plays and like his physicality getting him goals, but like it's not so much his brilliant technical ability. How he would fit in for Tottenham, I think, look, if Kane was sold, like it's one of those where obviously he's not as good as Kane, but can he do the job in Ange's system? Probably, because he's quite fast and he's strong and he'll do the pressing work, and maybe he'll make chances for himself with his physicality. So, and especially when you're getting so many crosses like we saw against West Ham, I think we had 40 crosses during the game. You would think he'd like kind of really relish those kind of opportunities. But whether he's a striker who would really kick us on, I don't know. I think you probably want someone with a bit more quality. Yeah,
but you say that, but you look at Napoli, the Serie A champions, and apparently they're chasing him quite heavily, having 2 bids already this summer.
As a backup, maybe, to Osimhen.
Yeah, that's true, but they might be planning for life without Osimhen. I mean, he might be leaving in the next year or so.
And I bet you they spend that on a Beto when they do. Maybe he's a good backup for Osimhen. I don't think they're signing him to challenge Osimhen.
Fair enough. But anyway, let us know if you know more about Beto. Let us know in the comment section below. To be honest, I'd never really heard of him before today, so let's see how it goes with that one. But that is your Tottenham update. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories we brought to you today. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.